You're hanging out in the House of Sunny podcast, where it's always sunny, mostly because of your host, comedian and YouTuber, Sunny Loman. Want to know what Sunny and her friends are thinking about this week? Well, here she is, Sunny Loman.
Welcome. Don't forget you can call the show and leave a voice message at 707-681-5834. Am I going to have to fake some voice messages to get you guys moving on this? Come on. I haven't gotten enough of these things. Call me, leave a message for the show, ask questions. I want to talk about what you want me to talk about. I'm here with sidekick Doug from The Rational Capitalist and Ashley, who will read us some headlines later. There's no guest today and no video, which I'll explain in a second. We're just going to jawbone. I have some topics planned. And I was going to do net neutrality today, you guys, but I didn't have time to research the issue. And then I realized we probably should have a guest on for that because it's so complicated that we need to get somebody who really knows. And I just happen to have a friend who owns a small ISP. So I think he might be a perfect guest to have on to talk about how it impacts him and what he knows about it. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was I was going to shred this MoveOn.org video that has been, I saw it because I follow MoveOn.org because that's fun. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. It's this is what I do with my day. This is why I live in rage and anger. And I follow them and I watched this video that they put out basically saying how they're going to win in 2020 and what their strategy is. I mean, it's all laid out for us to see. And so I thought that was great. And the video is hilarious, actually, in its unbelievable spin. So it would be fun to just play that and kind of break it apart, which we'll do. And we'll do that with video so that you can see the video and then see me and stuff. But I don't have a video this time. I don't have my camera hooked up. And let me back up. So I want to get this thing on YouTube video and eventually live. That's my goal. But I'm trying not to spend a ton of time on this podcast because what I really want to do is make videos anyway, in general.
It doesn't show.
Yeah, right. The quality of the video is so sucky. The last one with the history guys, great podcast, really fun. Both those guys were through Skype, and I have this call recorder software that records the video, and it compresses the video so much that it's almost worthless. It's almost worthless video. And I didn't know that it would do that because, I don't know, whatever. I didn't test it. So I've got another program I'm going to use called Audio Hijack. It'll probably do a better job. And we'll try that next time. And I'm not going to test it. I'm going to test it in real life. Sure. The other thing that I know is that even though I have a brand new computer, it's a year old, my webcam sucks, which I also learned last week when we had the history guys on. And I'm just a pixelated mess. I mean, you can't see me at all. It's terrible. So I think I need to figure out, and I'm not really a technology person, but I need to figure out how to connect my camera to my computer and have that act as my webcam. So I'm sure that's easy. It'll probably take a 5-minute YouTube tutorial for me to figure that out. And so that's what I'm planning. But, it may take me a few weeks to kind of figure all this stuff out and have consistent, professional, awesome video. And the reason that there's no video today, though, has nothing to do with that. It's because last night, during the allotted time that I was going to work on setting up my camera and getting everything ready, my daughter started throwing up.
Oh.
And you know how that is. Both of you two are parents.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she just started vomiting and it was everywhere, all over her room. It could be on the walls. It's I don't even know. I haven't even been in there. It's stinky. And I mean, there's so much laundry already in the laundry room. And I mean, the puke, you guys.
That's my worst nightmare.
I threw up in my friend's car once. It was similar. I did. It's horrible.
And they had to clean it up because you're sick. So they're like, oh,
no, I was drunk and they still made me clean it up.
Oh my God.
And that made it even worse. So, but there's vomit everywhere. You don't know where it is. It's horrifying.
That happened to me. Some friends and I didn't actually puke, but some friends and I had gone out dancing, and they had been drinking, and I mean we'd all been drinking, but the guy sitting in the back seat, and sometimes you can get car sick really easy in the back seat because you don't have a clear view of the front of the road,
or because you're really drunk.
Well, add to that you're drunk. And then you're in the back where you don't have the visual cues keeping your inner ear level.
Yeah, that's what I told my friends too.
That's what
but
you
go
told
ahead.
them. I got car sick. Blah.
My inner ear, it's not cueing.
It's my inner ear probably. Yeah, he threw up in the back seat. And then we actually cleaned it up for him.
That was me, my 21st birthday, all over the back seat of a taxi. Awful.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're lucky you didn't die on your 21st birthday. Other people die. They take the 21 shots and they just die. Way to start your life.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to adulthood. So she's like throwing up all over, and here I am in my, I'm recording this. It's morning. She basically just got up. The second she figures out that I'm here and not like I'm in my office with the door shut doing this podcast. I told everybody, don't bother me. The nanny's here. Her dad's here. But if she hears my voice, you're going to hear screaming. It's going to come through the door because she's going to want her mama. She's so sick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Poor baby. Anyway, so that may happen. How was your Thanksgiving, Doug? What'd you do?
Not much. I avoided going to my in-laws' place. I can say that because I know they don't listen to this. So I was able to chill out. What do you mean?
This is the most popular podcast on the internet. They don't listen to this?
Well, I'm not the most popular person with my in-laws. I see. That's the key factor.
So they're like, Doug's on there? Forget it. We're not listening. We don't want to hear what that blowhard has to say.
Exactly. Just do the opposite of whatever he's doing. No, so it was pretty tame, but I did have, and I still do, I have piles of turkey to eat. And last night it was the first day since Thanksgiving the first meal I think I haven't eaten turkey because I just couldn't take it anymore. I finally broke down. I couldn't eat turkey.
You finally broke down and had a hot dog? Even though you have all this yummy food in the fridge.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I think today is the day that you have to stop eating the turkey out of the fridge. Maybe even yesterday was the day because at some point, I mean, turkey is poultry. It maybe lasts 3 days in the fridge.
No, it lasts longer than that.
Definitely.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. A week for sure.
I don't trust that shit, man. I'm like one of those people, like 2 days before the due date, it's thrown away. I don't trust that. I would not eat turkey out of my fridge today.
It just dries up a little bit, but you just put some condiments on it and
or
that's
gravy,
fine.
Cranberry sauce, yeah.
Gravy, cranberry, mayo, butter, whatever.
Well, I stuck mine in the freezer, and I was going to call my aunt and say, "What do I do with this? Like make soup, maybe?"
I'll send you some recipes. Yeah.
Yeah, like turkey noodles, not noodles because I'm paleo, but turkey soup instead of chicken soup.
Huh.
You've never heard of this, Doug? This is like blowing your mind.
Yeah, like the idea of a non-chicken soup. I can't even comprehend it.
Oh, my mom took the
You're such a modern
carcass.
Man. That's right.
My mom took the turkey carcass and made turkey soup like instantly after Thanksgiving.
The carcass, did that. Like the bones and everything?
No, yeah. I didn't make soup, but I made broth. I immediately boiled everything, including like the leftover grease that I didn't make into gravy. And I have like 2 ginormous Ziploc bags of broth. I can't wait to eat it. I'm like, it's got that really fatty grease in it, that makes broth so good.
Yeah.
It's the best. So you can eat the bones and everything? Because I always felt bad throwing away the carcass.
Eat the bones? No, you make the broth. And then what she's saying is, I assume your mom then put the broth, strained the bones and everything out of the broth, and then added celery, carrots, that kind of stuff.
turkey noodles. Yeah, it was turkey noodle soup. So, yeah. I didn't have any because I'm also paleo, but
Right.
it smelled
You're like,
smelled
Mom,
good.
can't you make some without noodles?
Right. Could you put potatoes in it?
What is with, once you stop eating that stuff, you can't figure out why anybody wants it. Like, why would
Potatoes?
you put noodles in soup? They're flavorless. Yeah.
Ugh.
You know what I put in my chicken soup now? I got this great chicken soup recipe. And this is paleo. And in this chicken soup, I put very small, chunks of sweet potato.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's good.
Mm,
Yeah. No noodles required. Am I right?
Yeah.
interesting.
Right.
Doug's
It's
like,
really
that
good.
does not make any sense to me.
Yeah, I've never
Plus,
heard
I'm a
of this.
guy and I don't cook.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's sort of as if I have a choice. Whatever bowl of whatever appears before me, I just eat. So I don't really even.
You don't even know that your wife made it. You don't even appreciate her.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The idea that you actually have a choice over these things, that's primarily what's confusing me right now, that
Yeah.
you're talking about choices.
I loved your interesting.
Yeah, these simple things confuse me.
And later we're going to talk about Harry and Prince Harry and his engagement. I'm sure that will be fascinating to you too.
Well,
So-
actually, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay. Well, we'll
I
get
have
to
some
that. We
thoughts.
got a
Yeah.
bunch of, so we've got some stories coming up. We're going to talk later. We got headlines. We're going to do the Trump Pocahontas story and the Prince Harry story. So we'll get to that when we get to headlines. But I thought we would just kind of talk about Thanksgiving and the fact that it's now Christmas and now you have to shop. Did you do the Cyber Monday or the what do they call that Friday?
Black Friday?
Black Friday? Did you start
Friday.
Christmas shopping?
Well, now doesn't the Black Friday starts on Thursday now,
Yeah.
Right.
because there was a line around the block at 6:00 on Thanksgiving. So it's no longer Black Friday. It's sort of the whole weekend, right?
Right.
Totally.
And I did see coming through my Facebook feed brawls captured on video. They start fighting now Thursday night. Like, oh, let's be all thankful and grateful and then let's go beat each other up at the Walmart.
Are these deals that good? I mean, if you buy a blender and you get like $10 off, is that worth assaulting someone over? I don't know. I've never done this, so you guys tell me. Are the deals that people are getting, is it worth lining up around a block and standing outside in the line to get these deals? I don't understand.
Ashley, you may have
And can't you just get it online and have it delivered to you?
I mean, I did go Thursday night, but I went for the entertainment.
Where'd you go?
I went to Shopko, which is
now let's explain though, because you were in rural Minnesota.
Yeah, it was
So
pretty fun.
Ashley's from a farm. She's literally from a farm 3 hours outside of Minneapolis.
Farm
So-
to table.
When she goes home for Thanksgiving, it's really American, traditional. Everyone's riding
Yeah.
around on four-wheelers after. I saw pictures.
They ride horse? Don't they ride horses and stuff?
No, we don't have horses.
They don't have
but
horses.
that's
They
a
have
lot of
pigs. They ride their pigs. I'm just kidding. But so then when they want to go for the sales, they have two choices: Walmart and what'd you call it, Shopko.
Shopko, yeah. Walmart was interesting. I mean, there was just massive lines everywhere, and it's poorly organized. But I mean, I didn't really see any fights, but there was just so many people. It was just impressive how many people there were Thursday night.
Is it more of a social thing where people just like to be out and people watch and sort of party with this group, or are people really all about the deal?
I mean, there are some pretty good deals. I mean, it's electronic stuff. It can be anywhere from $100 to $400 off, depending on what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. I know we got our TV, we got the massive TV a couple of years ago, and we got it for $600. It was so cheap. The huge 65-inch TV. So, I mean,
And the other thing that happens
Pretty
is kids want a particular toy and it's a rare one. And so some of the fighting is I mean, I think there was a movie that kind of played on this where there was a toy that the kid wanted and there's like one left and the two dads
Jingle
were
All the
fighting
Way.
over it. Yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and what was that comedian guy's name? I can't remember. An 80s comedian. Fat black dude. I can't remember. Sinbad, that's it. And yeah,
Nice.
so I think there's that too. And maybe that's worth fighting over because to make your kid happy, you'll do just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But aren't there, I mean, you can get these toys on the internet, right? I mean, or is this in the farm country that this is the only place you
They
can
don't
get
have
toys is at
Wi-Fi
Walmart?
in farm country.
They don't have internets
No.
yet?
Oh my gosh.
They don't have the interwebs yet.
We have the internet, but it is like
Is it dial up?
it's a little bit faster than dial up. Like, no
I was
joke.
joking.
Nice.
Like no joke. And like my dad pays per gig for internet, and so we have to yell at the kids all the time like, stop watching Netflix.
Oh
Oh
no.
my God.
So there's like no internet shopping, just because if you have like two kids on a device, then it's just
Wouldn't
the
it
internet
be cheaper
bogs
to
down.
like buy your own satellite at that point?
It's a big to do in my family.
You know what they
Internet.
have here in Sonoma,
Wow.
Napa area? There are, well, I guess this is cell phones. It's not really internet, but people get paid to have cell towers in their yard here. Like I never saw that in the city. I'm from the city. And so you don't get paid to have a cell tower in the city. Like they're just everywhere and I don't even notice them. I don't even know where they are. But here you notice them because they're in people's yards and, people have acres. So you can see the vineyard and the acres and then you see the cell tower. And they disguise it by covering it with fake Christmas tree stuff.
I thought they put grapes on it.
No.
Yeah.
They should.
No,
they should grow grapes up the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The grapevine.
yeah, grapevines grow. They're really aggressive vines, so that would actually work. But no, they cover it in this fake faux green. And if it's there in a forest of other redwoods, you don't really see it because it blends. But people don't. They often just have them out there, and so they're obvious. You're like, that tree is a little too geometrical.
Right.
That tree is square. Why is that tree square?
And it has no branches.
Oh, it has branches, but they're
And it's blinking.
they stick out at 90-degree angles, and then right at the end, they have little 90-degree angle things going up. So they really don't look. It's not very organic looking.
They have fake birds in them and stuff.
Right.
Maybe put a stuffed raccoon in it or something.
Hey, no, this isn't a cell tower. Look the other way. Yeah. So
Interesting.
the White House was decorated for Christmas. I don't know if you saw some of that online. Well, I'll put some pictures in the blog post that I do on this podcast. But the funniest thing that I saw about this, so the White House decorated, and every year they decorate and it's different, and they pretend like the First Lady decorates.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't even know
Melania's
how-
carrying boxes up from the basement with her ornaments.
right.
And tinsel.
No, it's not a joke. They released a video of her and she's like tying a red ribbon on a wreath. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah, that came after hours and hours of tree decorating. That wasn't a photo op at all.
Right. I mean, how big is the White House? And this is a professional decorating job, and it's huge. And you think Melania Trump? I wonder if she even had much of a say. Like, I bet she didn't even look at. They had this whole thing, like they showed the plans, like she's looking at the plans and approving the plans for it and stuff. And I'm thinking, she didn't even do that. I bet.
She had a hard hat on, like Kim Jong-un, like pointing, barking out orders to her staff. Does like Trump come out like angry dad always has to get the ladder to put the angel at the top or whatever? Does Trump kind of come out,
Yeah. She's like, honey, I can't
climb a ladder.
Honey, you have to get this. I
All
can't
right.
get this up there.
And then he has to carry the ladder in from the White House garage and
Right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's what the first family's doing.
I saw a headline, and I didn't read the article, but the headline was something like, Melania is mad because I think it was Vanity Fair or something, is claiming that she had said she never really wanted to be first lady. And I was thinking, who would want to be first lady? It sounds awful.
Except for the clothes. I mean, they do get a great wardrobe. Even Michelle Obama looked good as first lady, sometimes.
Yeah, but Melania's already a supermodel, so I think she has a good wardrobe. I could see for Michelle, she was sort of a lawyer, kind of a curmudgeon, and all of a sudden she was a fashionista. I can understand that, or maybe for Barbara Bush or someone like that, but Melania doesn't need the White House wardrobe. That was probably a downgrade.
You know what the other bonus would be? Travel. I mean, you really would get to go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
That would
and
be
you don't
cool.
have to plan anything.
And you would
don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to plan it. Everything's taken care of. You get the best of the best. You get the behind the scenes peaks. I mean, like they were just in China, and didn't they get to see some stuff that like nobody's seen in a while? Some Imperial Palace stuff.
Yeah. But do you think that maybe you'd get sick of that after a while?
Well, you're asking me, would it be worth the price of the horrifying scrutiny that we would be under?
Because for every cool behind the scenes tour you also have to entertain, some stupid organization that's coming through, and you have to read a script.
All the mind numbing. So the funny thing about the Melania decorates White House, reveals the White House stuff. So you're seeing all these videos come through online, and you're seeing headlines about, oh, it looks great. And then, of course, there are actually headlines. I'm just going to read one for you from the AV Club. The headline on the White House decorations is, Melania Trump decks the halls with dead branches, spine-chilling wails of the damned. And then they show this picture, these horrible pictures. I don't know how these ever got released. I mean, Obama had a photographer that made him look perfect. They never released anything that wasn't perfect. That photographer was like, if you read any interviews of him, for him, photographing Obama was like a religious calling. And you never, ever saw anything bad. So they released some pictures that then the AV Club with this headline was able to sort of show that actually are kind of dark and weird. And I'm like, boy, bias much? I mean, it just goes to show you that you can even make Christmas decorations political, and you can even complain about those if you're on the left.
It's like she's decorating the Christmas tree at the Death Star or something,
Yeah. So I'll put those pictures up too. They're dark and creepy, and this magazine was able to make that kind of headline. But then there was this video that was shared of Melania as she's, going through the ceremony of unveiling the Christmas decorations that day. They had these ballet dancers doing this little thing on the floor as she stood alone. This is so creepy and weird, and who stages this stuff? She's standing alone on a stairway while these ballerinas are doing their thing. And she looks uncomfortable and kind of awkward. And of course, then she's made fun of. But to separate her out, put her on the stair alone watching this thing is just weird and awkward to begin with. Mm-hmm. And she's standing there with these stiff arms and looking really uncomfortable. And I'm thinking, and the article was all about, poor Melania. She hates her life because she's standing there watching these ballerinas and looking miserable. And so, yeah, your question of you have to do all these diplomatic things that bore you, or
maybe she's sort of a tragic figure, here she just thought she was a trophy wife of this billionaire. She was going to have a cake life where she can just shop at Barney's on the Upper East Side or something. And next thing you know, it's like, guess what? I'm running for president. Shit. Then,
she didn't look happy about that. And then the fact that she didn't move into the White House right away. And by all accounts, she's an introvert. I mean, it's really but it is what it is. I mean, she is who she is now, and you may as well embrace it because.
Yeah, I think it's great because the left, that the Obamas are so political, and the Clintons, those types, they're so political that everything is choreographed, everything is political, everything is propaganda. They're so careful, and everything is so stage managed. And I think that's what's almost refreshing about the Trumps is she's doing it sort of begrudgingly and kind of pulling the curtain back on, this isn't some grand, she's not staging this sort of like grand theater of this court, this monarchy or court sort of presence that these other ones tried to have. She's just like, whatever.
Yeah. And it's also proof that people on the right suck at propaganda.
Right. They just don't care.
Well, I don't even think they have the ability, or they're not thinking. I mean, don't put Melania on the stair by herself. Like, let's think about what's going to make her look comfortable and good. Don't release photos of the White House decorations that look dark and unpleasant. How hard is that?
Well, but that's the whole thing, is that the left is all about trumpeting the purpose and the efficacy of government and creating that sort of image of the grand central planner, the philosopher kings who are in control, and they're glamorous and beautiful and brilliant. And, the right in general is trying to end that and trying to some extent liberate us from that.
I think so too.
And so it's like a naturally bad political situation, because they're going to be bad at propaganda.
It's definitely what I like about Trump. I mean, of all the things to dislike about him, I like that I didn't like that he called my horse in the primary names and things like that, and lied about him and things like that. But when he said to Vicente Fox, the Mexican president, that wall just got 10 feet taller, things like that, just these off the cuff remarks of, I don't know, just completely inappropriate stuff.
Right.
And I liked the inappropriateness because I want the veneer to be torn down. It's so fake. And all the politicians, right and left, are so over-rehearsed and fake. And they have to be, because if they're not, the press just crushes them if they're on the right. And, obviously everyone on the left gets a pass, but they just come out and lie, and spin. And the press doesn't ever say anything about it.
Right.
But people on the right have in a response to a hostile media and culture, they have started being really fake and over-rehearsed. And all along comes this guy, whether he's I know a lot of people think he's a bad president on the right, but whether he's a good president or a bad president, what he does do is he's not rehearsed. And so he's going to allow other people in the future to be unrehearsed too. So that, I think, is a positive effect that he's going to have on the culture.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's sort of breaking down and not playing to that sort of fake image that those guys try and create and they rehearse. I think that, and again, I think it's not the disposition of his base. I mean, most people on the right are very skeptical, very suspicious of government. They want it smaller. They see them as thieves and scoundrels. They don't respect the Congress or respect really the whole mission of the government, except in a very limited fashion. So, someone who's very crafty and rehearsed and plays to this image of the great government servant, it's really doesn't, it's somewhat contradictory and somewhat hypocritical. I think a lot of people see through that.
On that note, we can talk about Al Franken.
Ooh.
This guy, he's Mr. Slickster out there acting like he's so virtuous. He's a man of the people. And meanwhile, he's like grabbing ladies' butts during photo ops, and probably worse. If he's doing that, there's probably going to be more. Or, I don't know if you noticed this, but women have come forward. Democrats have come forward. People who liked him, who were at his rallies, who wanted a photo op with him because they admired him and were excited about him. And then he grabbed their butt. and like took a big handful of their butt during the photo op with their husband right there or whatever. I mean, what a power-lusting little snake, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, didn't Ann Coulter have a great joke about them something to do with losing a seat? Ha ha ha.
I didn't hear that one. That sounds funny. But
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think the whole idea, why we would associate someone who is some sort of like overt feminist SJW type with moral virtue, or discipline, or
Right.
something like that, or personal or psychological discipline is beyond me. I mean, I think the more you spout off or actually take to that kind of a philosophy, I think the more likely you are to be sick and twisted. So it's not surprising,
isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Chips fall. And then, but he's being defended in the media, and people like, how many writers from SNL, like over 30 female writers from SNL wrote a statement defending him. And of course he
didn't rope me.
They gave Bill Clinton a pass, and he was accused of rape, not just grabbing somebody's ass.
And what do you think recently of the fact that these people are coming out now that the Clintons are no longer politically viable? There's been this avalanche of leftists that have come out saying, "Oh yeah, he should have resigned back in the '90s," and
give me a break.
How dare we? We were wrong, and how could we have overlooked this? And
I haven't seen anyone say we were wrong. Did somebody say we were wrong?
Oh, absolutely. There's been all sorts of coverage. There was an article I even posted about the reckoning, and tons of people have come out on the left now and actually literally said he should have resigned. Or,
well, are those same leftists saying that Franken should resign and that Conyers should resign? Because not only did Conyers assault somebody, but he paid them off with taxpayer money.
Oh, I know. Well, did you see Pelosi last night? She was on yesterday defending. What she's saying now about Conyers, and this is the most ridiculous hypocrisy, is, well, we need due process. We really don't know what happened with Conyers. Innocent until proven guilty. He's an icon, so on and so forth. And again, the Clintons are politically
Here's what
wrecked.
we know. He took taxpayer money and he gave it to a woman who accused him of sexual assault. Like, that's a fact. That's not an opinion.
Right. But not according to Nancy
even
Pelosi.
if he were innocent, you don't pay off accusers with taxpayer money.
Right.
And I'm starting to think that our biggest problem on the right is that we basically fund the left. We basically are funding them with money to the universities, with money to the arts, and all these, different places that government pours billions of dollars.
Right.
And the left is using it to crush us with propaganda. I mean, we talk about how the right doesn't have any good propaganda artists, and we're not artists, and we don't have good designers and good photographers. And that's because all of the government money pouring into those fields, the artistic fields, have basically turned it into a permanently left culture.
Yeah. Definitely.
So if you wonder why the arts are left, it's because they're government funded.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people on the right are very short-sighted. They don't think long range. They don't think in principle. They don't understand the relationship between ideas, culture, and the arts, and how those things end up fueling this sort of like propaganda that we see coming through, from television to movies to the arts everywhere. And I think it's starting to change a little bit. I mean, you're starting to see it, but
I think it is too. And then I think what you also have are people that are were sort of on the left changing sides because they don't like where the left is headed. And there are some talented people, artists within that group. So I think that's happening too. Anyway, it's a little bit early for headlines, but let's get to headlines because I think these are so, at least the first one is so interesting that we're going to talk about it for a while.
Okay, so at is it Navarro Veterans event?
Navajo.
Oh my gosh.
The Navajo. Navarro. That's Dave Navarro to you?
Wow.
From what band was he in?
Dave Navarro. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's Navajo.
Okay. At a Navajo Veterans event, Trump makes Pocahontas crack. I just want to thank you.
This is a quote of Trump, this next part here. Yeah.
I just want to thank you because you are very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were, said Trump. Although we have a representative in Congress who has been here a long time, longer than you, they call her Pocahontas. He turned to one of the code talkers behind him, put his left hand on the man's shoulder, and said, "But you know what? I like you. You're special people."
That's such an awesome quote. What a doofus, right? But whatever. I mean, it doesn't bother me. What's funny about this is how freaked out the left has become over this. Freaked out that he would say that. Oh my God, they're just such pussies, you know? They're so buried in their cultural appropriation, racist, xenophobic. I mean, they're just terrified of racism that they can't even, I don't know, just anything that even, gets close to that line, they freak out about. And for a president, obviously we know Trump is not your typical president. He doesn't have the, class that, I don't even know if I want to call it class.
I don't know, class?
What's the word? Is it class? He doesn't have the restraint and the
discipline.
The class of former presidents, like all of them. But I don't know. He is who he is, and I'm over it. And so things like this don't bother me. I don't know why people are continuing to let them bother them on the right. But on the left, their heads explode because it is just so un-PC and inappropriate. And so as a result, I love it. Like now I'm just taking the exact opposite. Like normally I would just ignore it and be like, it's Trump being Trump. It's kind of a weird doofusy way of talking. Like, but you know what? I like you. You're special people. Like, that's just, who talks like that? Like if I were one of those Navajo guys, I'd be like, oh, thanks. That's so sincere. Yeah. F you. But I wouldn't even be upset about the Pocahontas remark. It would be like, don't call me a special person. Like,
that's more.
What? I like you. You're special people. Okay, don't talk down to me, dick. Like that's how the Pocahontas thing is nothing compared to that. But that's, of course, the left is all about the Pocahontas comment. Meanwhile, they don't give a shit that Elizabeth Warren lied about being an Indian to get into Harvard. Or to become a professor at Harvard. They don't give a shit about that. She's a senator. She's a fucking American senator who lied about being an American Indian using affirmative action. And she's white. She's a white woman.
Yeah. That's second worst on the list, right?
And they don't care because she's on their side. They don't care.
Double standards, hypocrisy, very strange coming from the left.
I don't even know what to say about that. So that's you got to hear what the press conference. So the press conference after he made these remarks, nothing else matters in the world. Like Iran could have nuked Israel yesterday, and all we would be hearing about is that he said Pocahontas in front of Navajo people.
Right.
And by the way, the word Pocahontas is a slur now. This is what they're saying because, I don't know. I mean, she's just a historical figure. So he's actually making fun of somebody who did something really icky.
Right.
I mean, talk about cultural appropriation, but she masqueraded as an Indian for privilege. To get bennies. She pretended to be an Indian to get bennies. And he's making fun of that. And also the people who won't hold her to account. She's a senator. And the Democrats are like, oh yeah, we like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
So they get all upset about this. And so here's the press conference. I actually transcribed this myself. Here are the 3 questions asked in a row about this issue. And this is what's her face, who's the press conference person, Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah.
So she's leading the press conference. Here are the questions. And these questions are so nasty. So, okay. Why did he feel the need to say something that is offensive to many people while honoring the code talkers? Now, how is she supposed to answer that?
I'd say that Elizabeth Warren masqueraded as an Indian, that is offensive.
That is how she answered that, actually.
She should apologize.
She said what most people find offensive is that a white woman pretended to be an Indian to get into Harvard or whatever.
Awesome.
She said something like that. But the point is that question,
I'm on the same page with Sarah.
You should be the press secretary.
I should.
You'd probably be good at that. You would be great at that, actually, with your droll, sarcastic, quippy little put downs. Okay. So, but that question, why did he feel the need to say something offensive? Like already the premise is he did say something offensive. You're just supposed to accept that. And so should she answer that, oh, I don't know, he was having an off day. That's why he felt the need to say something offensive, or he doesn't really like the code talkers. Like, what are they hoping she's going to say?
Right.
Is this going to be a gotcha moment for them? It's just ridiculous. Okay, here's the next question. The moment had many, many people online asking whether the president lacks decency. What is your response to that notion? Yeah, he's pretty indecent. Is that what she's going to say as press secretary of the White House? And do we really care? Is the critical question many people online were asking whether the president lacks decency? So people online are like is the important news?
Yeah, they're the Twitter trolls are now the ambassadors of the nation.
Yeah, this is the news that is so important that the president of the United States needs to be asked, what do you think, and his representative, what do you think about what these people online are saying?
Not me. I don't want to ask the question.
Not saying,
I'm just speaking for the people.
Right. Exactly. I'm not saying he's indecent. Many people online are asking.
It's Bob in Idaho. He's concerned.
Yeah. What a pussy, huh? Why can't he just stand up and go, that was indecent? What is your response to that? No, he can't say that. You ready for question 3? After she answers this by saying, I don't know what she said. She's pretty good. And then the next question is, why is it appropriate for the president to use a racial slur in any context? So again, you have to accept the premise. Already they've decided it's a racial slur. It's offensive. Everybody's saying so. It's indecent. Those are all the premises that she is supposed to accept in answering these questions. These are ridiculous questions. Is this journalism? I mean, I'm fine with them being on the other side, but this is not journalism. These are not real, honest questions.
No. It's virtue signaling.
It's virtue signaling. It's speech making for the cameras.
Yeah.
I am a very decent and respectable journalist, and I'm outraged.
Like he could have said, does he regard that as a racial slur? I mean, at least that's a question.
That's a better question.
I mean, he's assuming that it's a racial slur, and then asking, of course, is it ever appropriate to beat your wife in any context?
It's a total beat your wife question. It's I forget what it's a leading question. Is that the logical fallacy? Or maybe there's a legal term for that or something, like lawyers. All you lawyers out there need to comment and help me with this. But yeah, it's just a pussy move. Anyway, they're such snots. Do I think it was decent for him to say that at a ceremony of Navajo Indians? Like I said, that doesn't bother me as much as, but you know what? I like you. You're special people.
What about like these imams in various mosques all over the world that are calling for, the death of the Jewish state or for beheading or murdering or executing homosexuals? I mean, do they ever, when they accuse the right of being Islamophobes or whatever, do we ever say, well, wait a second, aren't those slurs? Is that ever appropriate?
Trump said he grabs women's pussies, which he's actually never been accused of. He just said that. And that is horrifying. But actually tossing gays off a roof, okay. Because you're brown.
Right.
And you're on the left, I guess.
Yeah, he has power.
But they have power too. There's billions of them.
1.8 billion. That's right.
They have a lot of power.
Of course. But of course, it's just unending hypocrisy and double standards.
They're soul sisters with them. I mean,
yeah, what they're really against is the West and America. Right. Anyone who makes common cause with them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're a rapist, whether you throw homosexuals off of buildings, whether you beat your wife. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, if you want to tear down America, you're with us.
If you're for universal medicine or socialized medicine, we've got your back.
Yeah, but even socialized medicine is a way of tearing down the West. It's not a means to an end. I mean, they don't really want to help people because it's not really about the practical. I mean, if you're really saying what would be the best medical care for the most people, it's obviously not socialized medicine.
Oh, right. Of course. I mean, I'm just saying, it's in order to anything that will. And I think there was actually a great commentator on Fox last night, Monica Crowley, said the same thing, which is that as long as you're for their political agenda, the right tends to think in terms of individual rights.
Right.
And did the person commit this crime or not? The left tends to think in terms. There was a feminist on last night. I don't know if you heard about this article. I think it was someone called Emily Linden, maybe, who essentially put out this tweet that said, I don't care if some men get falsely accused of sexual harassment because, in the larger cause.
We're tearing down the patriarchy.
We're tearing down the patriarchy.
Right.
And this feminist that he had on agreed with that. Essentially
and
said,
that is a perfect example. That's exactly, it's not
pure collectivism.
It's not even, you just take that to a larger place. I don't care that some gays are going to get tossed off a roof because the greater good is this tearing down of the West.
Right. Yeah. It's just everything's a collective. If white men are a collective, so if some part of the collective has an injustice done to it, that's fine because some other part of the collective committed an injustice historically. So everything is this sort of like gigantic collective amoeba that has existed for hundreds of years. And if you're a white man today, you're part of that historical collective. And so, you can be sacrificed as long as the larger agenda.
And just talking about the left right now in general, the piling on the Clintons now, I think they're going to, that's seen as good for the left. They need to clean house and get rid of some of that more obviously corrupt element. Plus, she's a loser. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much that she's corrupt. She's a loser.
Right. And they want to raise money for 2020.
They need to raise money. They need to get in people who people will vote for. And Hillary has shown she's a loser. And so
yeah, they're pivoting now.
They want to get rid of her. So they're willing to come out and be like, yeah, Bill Clinton, he's a rapist. But Al Franken, he needs to be, and Conyers is an icon, and Al Franken is a good man who does good things in the Senate and so on. Even though, seriously, the man who grabs a woman's butt in that context is a freaking monster inside. Anyway.
Right.
Normal men do not do that.
Right. No, he has it's a power trip.
Right.
He's saying, I'm powerful. There's nothing you can do. So I'm going to take advantage of it and grope you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Typical. And that's exactly, I'm not saying he's a rapist, but that's what they say about rape. It's not about the sex. It's about the power. It's about, asserting strength and power over a woman.
Yeah.
Psychologically.
Right.
Anyway, okay, on that.
Right. Well, and that's not surprising given that he's a power-lusting leftist who wants to control everyone's life. Does it shock anybody?
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the last headline, which is a little more upbeat.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are engaged. Is that how you say her name?
Yes.
Markle? Okay. Prince Harry
No,
said
it's
today.
Navajo.
Oh.
It's mackerel.
Mackerel?
Meghan Mackerel, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Navarro, by the way, was Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili
There
Peppers.
we go. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I knew that. Okay,
Yes.
Go on.
Prince Harry said today he is thrilled to be married to Meghan Markle.
Meghan Navajo.
Means he knew the suit star was the one from the first day they
Aww.
met. Yeah. Meghan is 36.
Says the playa.
Also showed the world her engagement ring designed by Harry himself, containing 2 diamonds from Princess Diana's own personal collection, set in a gold band. The couple will marry in a church in spring 2018 after the princes proposed in early November, after getting permission from the Queen and Meghan's parents.
Yeah, that was an awkward sentence. Yeah, so they're engaged. What do you guys think? It's exciting. Another royal wedding. I gotta say, I was riveted to the first one, the Kate and William. And this is exciting because she's an American.
Yeah.
She's the first American marrying into the royal family besides that crazy marriage.
Wait, isn't she from Toronto? Isn't she Canadian originally?
I know that she's American, but I don't know what her early origins are. But she's definitely an American.
Oh, she is an American. All right.
Wallis Simpson is that woman's name who married the King of England when he abdicated. Remember?
No.
Remember, because you guys were dead.
Sorry.
You guys weren't even born then. You don't know this history. Madonna.
Yeah, I don't
made a
follow the
movie
royal
about this.
family
Come on.
closely.
So did you see the movie where the guy had the stutter? The King of England had the stutter.
Oh, right.
So his brother, what is it called? King's Speech. His brother abdicated and he had to step in and become king. And he was just terrified of public speaking and all that. So it was horrible.
Yeah, so he had a speech impediment.
So his brother abdicated to marry this American divorcee. Big scandal. So this is only the second American marrying into the royal family. So that's kind of cool.
Was she married before too?
No, I don't think so. Meghan Markle? I don't know anything about her. Did anyone watch the show The Suits? I don't watch that show.
I did. I have to confess that Suits. I watch Suits. I mean,
you sound like you
sort of
feel really guilty about this.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm admitting publicly to watching Suits, but I sort of got sucked into it, and so she, and I never found her that attractive, and I found her incredibly annoying as a character on the show. She was really just sappy and all about the relationship. And again, why did I watch this show then? This is more like a psychological confession. I don't know. She's pretty attractive. I never found her super attractive. I think just because her character on the show was so annoying to me that I had trouble with it. But
I'm going to ask a racist question. I mean, she doesn't look really white. What is she?
I think her dad's black and her mom's white.
So this is also the first black person to marry into the British royal family, I assume.
Let's see. Her dad is Caucasian and her mom is African American.
Oh, sorry. Got that backwards.
Well, on the show, her father's African American. Not that I know a lot about
Not that you know
show.
about the show. I don't know how you know that.
Rachel Zane, that's right. I can't, yeah. All right, whatever.
Well, Markle isn't exactly an African American name.
Right.
So.
I mean, she is pretty attractive.
She's very pretty. Very pretty.
Very pretty.
And she seems, I just watched a little interview. She seems nice. You know?
There was an article that now she's going to make waves because she's a feminist.
Well, she's an American.
In the royal
family.
family.
Of course she's going to make waves. Of course.
And I guess when she was a kid, she sent some sort of letter to a soap company because in a commercial, the commercial implied that women belong in the kitchen or something like that.
Oh, God. So, she's an SJW. She's an SJW. They deserve that, though, because they are environmentalist kooks.
Yeah, that's right.
So they can have a feminist. That'll be fun to watch. There'll be some fireworks.
So if the queen ever dies, then is it Prince Charles becomes the king?
Yes.
Is that how this works?
Yeah, he's next, and then William after him.
So this Harry guy is really never going to be the king.
Unless somebody gets blown up. When like Charles and William get blown up when they're together on a boat.
All right. And there could be like a Hamlet, like
they could die of smallpox.
Purge. Like they could, someone like Harry or William have some sort of like sword fight and kill each other.
There could be a new Black Plague.
Right.
London is famous for these types of outbreaks.
So, okay. So are you guys, I mean, I'm not into the royal family, obviously. I am into Suits, but not the royal family. But is this like a thing?
It's the same.
This seems to be a real thing.
I don't know how you can be into the Suits and not into the royal family. It's another
It's not the
show.
Suits. It's Suits. Come on, get your titles right.
Sorry. It's just another show. Right? I mean, that's kind of how I look at it.
But are you excited about the wedding?
Yes. I'm excited about the wedding. Yeah.
Would you rather be first lady or would you rather be the princess?
I literally watched front to back the wedding of Kate and William. I watched the entire thing. And then later watched clips. Like I loved the dress. And I'm not even like a wedding person. It's all the, I also love English history. So that may be part of it. Because it's not like I'm watching royal weddings of other royalty. It's not like I'm really into that. I really like Britain. I like England. I like the history. And so I like paying attention to the royals. Although I did watch that show Crown on Netflix, which is Queen Elizabeth, young Queen Elizabeth, the current queen. And after the first season, I found it boring. Or like toward the end of the first season, I'm like, snooze. I don't really care. She's not interesting to me because it became this thing where this kind of smart, intelligent, sassy young woman was just sort of giving up all her values. And it was just one episode or another where she's fine emasculating her husband. She makes promises to him that she doesn't keep. She's fine severing her relationship with her sister because she makes promises to her that she then changes her mind and you know, because of the pressure of just conformity. She's the Queen of England and she's pressured to conform. I mean, you're genetically the Queen of England. You can do whatever you want. You're still the Queen of England. You don't have to do anything that anybody says ever. And she just, the pressure to conform. So I gave up. I couldn't. It was too depressing. I stopped watching the show. Maybe at some point she had like a moment where she finally exploded on these uptight assholes that were telling her what she could and couldn't do. But I didn't see it going in that direction. What I saw it going in was the direction of she's destroying all her relationships. And I just can't, you know, and not only that, but her own ideas of what she was going to do and who she was going to be and what kind of queen she was going to be. Like all of it was out the window because her advisors, who had been advisors of the royal family for decades, were just telling her what to do. And she was like, okay, I guess I'll do that then. That's boring TV. That's boring TV.
Let me ask the big question here, though. How is this wedding going to affect the next season of Suits?
Well, I think she's out.
She's out?
She can't
I think this
be
show's
an actor.
over.
She can't stay. She's dead. They're going to kill her off that show. She's got to go move to England now and become a personage. She doesn't get to be an actress or have a life anymore. It's done. She's going to have royal babies and go to ceremonies. She is now Melania Trump for the rest of her life. That's the difference between our country and their country. Melania Trump has that nightmare for 4 to 8 years tops. They sign up for life.
What would you rather have? Would you rather be Melania and be a first lady, or would you rather be the princess?
I would rather be Melania.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to say the princess thing.
No. No, I would rather have it temporary. And I mean, you get some perks even after it's all over. You get travel, you get Secret Service, you get probably some nice homes. But, the
princess thing is for life, so you're under scrutiny forever.
I wouldn't want that.
Give up your life.
That's a tough life. I think that's a really tough life, being royalty. I know that sounds like really stupid because they have so much money and glamour, but it doesn't look fun to me.
No, every minute of every day.
Yeah, you're scheduled and you are there for other people. You don't get to have your own selfish pursuits.
Ashley, now if you were a princess, would you be lining up at Walmart on Black Friday? Would you still do that stuff?
Totally.
Would you fight over $100 discount?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to save money where you can.
Listen, don't mess with the princess. Right? Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. If you are enjoying the show, please consider becoming a patron over at Patreon. I don't know how to say it. .com/House of Sunny. We're trying to break even with the show. And then on top of that, if we get a little extra, everything helps. Technology, outsourcing. I would like to make things more professional, but I have limited time. And I'm still waiting for my face to go down before I do a video. Actually, I think I'm ready. I just need time now. This week is a little crazy. Thanksgiving was crazy. This week I have to travel. So maybe next week I can finally film the Antifa spoof video that I've been waiting to film. But I'm going to continue to do this every week. So we'll have a guest next week. Maybe we'll do net neutrality. And that's it. So we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the House of Sunny podcast. Go check out Sunny on YouTube at her channel, House of Sunny. Everything Sunny does is fan-funded. And because she's likely to get kicked off and demonetized on every platform at some point, please support her over at patreon.com/House of Sunny. Become one of Sunny's elite squad and have access to behind-the-scenes footage, t-shirts, special events, and more.